My name is Clara Custodio. For those of you who don't know me, my role here at Consensus is to lead customer experience and support. One of my missions is to continuously enable you, the user, and so that you take full advantage of the software that your company has invested in. And there are many ways that you can keep on learning SAP Business One. There are many free training resources, free learning opportunities out there. I want to introduce you today to some of my favorites, and you're going to be learning about many of these. I'm going to be sharing afterwards for those of you who are joining sessions such as this one for the first time. I will share with all of you a document with all the links that I mentioned on the presentation, so you don't need to take notes. And I really hope you enjoy this presentation. Use the Q&A. I see that we already have a question. Diana, you can't hear me? Can everybody hear me correctly? I don't have any other. Okay, thank you. Thank you for confirming that. Diana, I think probably it's you. There's an issue with your headset or with your computer, because other users can hear me correctly. I hope you can fix it. Otherwise, this session is being recorded, so we will send you the recording as well afterwards. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. And let's get started. When you come to consensusintl.com, our webpage, you'll find under resources this portal that we've called SAP Business One e-learning for beginners. It was originally designed to give you content when you are starting your journey with SAP Business One or when you are onboarding a new employee in a company that has already been working with SAP Business One for a long time. And you can use this content to train new employees who have not been exposed to the system yet. Right now, this portal has a lot of information for that type of users, for beginners, but also for advanced users. And a lot of the content here can be used as a great tool for refreshment training as well. So let me just walk you through what you'll find in this portal when you log in. So the first thing you find are these webinar series that are specifically designed for beginners, so introducing them to the philosophy behind SAP Business One, to the personality of the software, to understanding basic navigation, what the differences are between master data and transactional data, the toolbar, the modules, so that you can take all that basic knowledge of SAP Business One out of the way, and you can then train your users in their specific tasks at hand and showing them how your system was customized and what the processes for your company are, but they already understand SAP Business One. So we have a series of 2 webinars, and by request from one of our customers, we also created this content in Spanish. These webinars use screens with the US localization in English, but the training language used was Spanish. So if you or any user you know are working here in the US, but you prefer Spanish as a learning language, these webinars are for you. Below those very starting webinars for beginners, you have this section on the SAP Learning Hub. The SAP Learning Hub, the Business One Academy on the Learning Hub, is actually the content that consultants use to get certified. So it's very comprehensive. You will find a lot of great learning materials there, and you do not need an S user ID to access the Learning Hub or the SAP Business One Academy on the Learning Hub, but you will need to create an account. You will need an email address to create that account. And if you don't have one yet, that's what you will find here. You will find the step-by-step. This is a guide that you can follow step by step to create your account for the Learning Hub. Once you have your account, you can come here and click here, and this will take you directly to the SAP Business One Academy on the Learning Hub once you already have an account. SAP has introduced new simulations and videos in the Learning Hub, and I wanted to include these links here. You will need your account first, so if you don't have the account, please go back to the guide that I was introducing before. But once you have that account, this takes you straight to this type of different learning styles content. So if you'd like to test your knowledge, you have access to all the quizzes here. If you want to review business cases, they are here. If you want to if you want to see videos for top scenarios, you can go here. And I would like to show you here the simulations that are available right now. And they have created simulations on trial balance report, creating a manual journal entry, and many, many other scenarios. And I know that they are adding more scenarios every day. I really invite you to check out this form. It's great. And that's all on the Learning Hub, and you can access it all from here, our e-learning page. Also new on our new e-learning page is the direct access to our page to keep learning the SAP Business One Web Client. So you can access it here, and you can go straight to the first video of the series, clicking here. We have links in this page to subscribe to our newsletter so that you never miss a thing, to our webinars and workshops page. Remember that on that page you will find information about upcoming webinars, but also about all those webinars that were already delivered and that you can now Let's dig a little deeper on the SAP Learning Hub, or the SAP Business One Academy on the SAP Learning Hub. As we've shown before, if you don't have an account, you will need to open an account for the Learning Hub. And in our website, consensusintl.com, when we click under Resources menu, and if we go to the SAP One e-learning for beginners, scrolling down, we find this space here that we dedicated to the SAP Learning Hub. We recommend you to download this guide and follow the steps to create your account for the Learning Hub. Once you already have the account, you can just go directly to the SAP Business One Academy on the SAP Learning Hub. You can log on and continue. You don't need an S-user ID. Because I have an S-user ID, that's the ID that SAP is using to give me access. But if you don't have one and you created one with your email, that's the one that SAP will use to give you access. And the content will be almost the same. The screen that you're going to see is not exactly the same screen as you will see the first time that you log in, because I'm already building my learning plan. I have several things here. You won't have that until you start building your learning plan. The first time that you log in, I recommend that you explore the learning journeys for SAP Business One version 10. And you can get there in many different ways. You can just click here on this banner. If you want to see a video that guides you a little bit on how to use the learning journeys, you can watch this one, not the first one that pops up, because that one is in reference to the whole Learning Hub and it might get a little confusing. But here, this one that is on a banner called SAP Business One Academy, this is a very good video to watch if it's your first time in the SAP Learning Hub. Different ways you can access the learning journeys for SAP Business One, just by typing SAP Business One here, by clicking Learn here and typing SAP Business One, or if you scroll down, you will find a tile like this one with the title SAP Learning Journeys for SAP Business One. You click there, and you will need to, again, click here, SAP Business One. that is going to filter the results, and you're going to see a lot of tiles with different learning journeys in different languages. And if you scroll down, you will see even older versions of SAP Business One. You're going to choose the language that interests you, and you're going to do available for business user. This is the one that I'm going to show you today. Is SAP Business One version 10, implementation for business user. That's the one that I recommend you to use. As mentioned before, this is the content, and these are the tools that consultants use when they're working towards their certification. So this is very comprehensive. You don't need to maybe go through every one of these modules. It depends on your interests. If you're starting, we would recommend you to start on the SAP Business One introduction tile, and then follow the logical order that the learning journey offers you. But you might be already an experienced user, and you might be interested in just, learning in depth about a specific module. You can go directly there. It's customizable to your liking. What happens when you click on one of these tiles is that you are presented with a course, and you are presented with the option to enroll in such course. You have an idea of how much time you're going to need to devote to this whole course, but many times they have different blocks, if you see here. So the first thing you need to do, you enroll. As soon as you enroll, you will have this bar that is going to be giving you feedback on your progress. And you can start the courses. In this case, you do need to follow the order, because it's a logical order that you need to build on. Each course is going to present you, if I click on Start Course, with different available training materials. In this case, we're only seeing a PDF, but in other cases, you're going to see videos or even simulations, which were added recently. Once you complete a course like this one, you always have case studies. And for that reason, if you are interested in one of your users learning SAP Business One using the Learning Hub, it's a very good idea that you give them access to a test company where they can actually perform these exercises that are offered to them in the learning journey. At the end of each course, you also have the opportunity to take a quiz. And when you pass that quiz, there's a certificate that is delivered. So if you want to control your users' usage of the learning journey, and you can ask them to show you the certificate of the courses that they have taken. And that is a very beautiful tool for controlling the learning of your users. We invite you to explore the Learning Hub. If you have any problems with the Learning Hub, accessing it, or any questions, please reach out to us. We are happy to guide you through it. And like I said, this is a very comprehensive tool that you can use at any time and customize to your needs and the needs of your users. So I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to SAP Community page. I recommend you to bookmark this URL, as it is a little long and you might not remember it by heart, but it's very recommended that you do filter by topic by Business One. Otherwise, when you look through the community, with the SAP Community page, you will be looking through all the other solutions within the SAP portfolio, and it might get a little confusing. The SAP Community is a way, it's a great place where consultants, advanced users, and users in general, they interact, they have conversations, and there are years and years of conversations, and there's a lot to learn from the SAP Community. In my case, I use the SAP Community just as a source of learning and finding answers to questions I have or some of my customers have. You can also decide to interact with the community in a deeper level. You might want to become a community member, and in order to do that and actually ask questions or reply to questions or write blog posts, etc., you would need to go to resources on the top menu And here you will find tutorials on getting started, on how to create your profile, as well as the rules of engagement, how the moderation works, etc. So if you do want to interact on a deeper level, please go here to resources. If you just want to use the SAP community page in the way that I do, let me remind you that once you bookmark this page, you will have access to content on the community, but also in this first tab called Topic Resources, you're going to be greeted by, interesting updated content on the software, as well as links to other pages that might interest you as well. But when I come into the community page and I want to browse its content, we need to click here on community content, and we can use this browsing window. You will then be able to browse either all contents, or you can exclusively browse for blog posts or for Q&A. If you want to browse for Q&A, for instance, here, you just type in keywords or your question, and then you click on Q&A. And this will bring all the conversations that have included over the years the keywords that you typed. In my case, I was looking for document numbering series error. I found this question by a different user that applied or was very similar to the one I had. And so what you do is you just scroll down, and what you're going to see, it's a conversation between this user and then other users or even SAP consultants, which is the case in this one. I found my resolution. The answer to my question here was submitted by an SAP consultant. Sometimes it might be an advanced user or just another user. So that was, for instance, an example of looking for a Q&A. But also, like I mentioned before, you can just type in here another topic. Just think about inventory valuation methods. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to browse, but only look for blog posts. Oh, sorry, I have to write it again. So once I click here, I'm going to find interesting articles on this subject. So it's not so much a Q&A, but articles in depth about this topic. So you can just review what the content brings you. And in my case, for instance, I might decide, oh, I didn't know this. So actually you can check the impact of the different inventory valuation methods. Let's learn how to do that. So this is how the SAP community works, and I hope you enjoy it and you take advantage of this great resource. We have been learning a lot about SAP Business One Web Client, this fantastic option that was introduced to us in SAP Business One version 10 already a while ago. But we thought it would be nice to have one single portal where you can learn about the SAP Business One Web Client, as well as the new functionality that is being added in every feature pack to this option of using your software. So if you go to our website, consensusintl.com, and you go to solutions, under there you will find this SAP Business One Web Client. And here is the place where you can come and you will find explanations about SAP Business One Web Client, as well as links about the installation and latest features that are being added, and very nice videos where you can learn how to use the web client. Well, that was a very long URL. Would you agree? I actually wanted to show you that to make a point, because SAP Help Portal is a fantastic documentation hub, and you will find a lot of answers, a lot of how-to guides, the user manual, plenty of information in the SAP Help Portal. But it's very important for you to understand that first you need to filter so that you can only see results that are relevant to you, which means to the software that you're using. We've had some users in the past. We understand that SAP Business One for you and for us is at the heart of everything SAP we do. But SAP has a large portfolio of solutions. SAP Business One is one of them, and the best one for small and mid-sized enterprises, but they do have a lot of other solutions. So if, for instance, you come here to the help.sap.com website without filtering to SAP Business One, and you type, for instance, journal entry, you just want to find information regarding journal entry, and we've had this happen with some users, and see that you have 20 results for journal entry. This one is not SAP Business One. This one is not SAP Business One. Not SAP Business One, again, not SAP Business One. So you could just open one of these articles and try to follow the steps, and you're going to get confused because you're not going to see exactly what you need because they refer to a different software. So going back to the very long URL, there is another way. You don't need to bookmark that very long URL, although that would be my recommendation, but you can also search here. Every time you come, you can search for SAP Business One. And then here you see the products. And you see when you type in SAP Business One, you don't only see one product. There are a lot of products associated with SAP Business One. If you are looking specifically for information about SAP Business One for Android, the app on your phone, or SAP Business One Cloud or the service app, you can click on the one you like. I prefer to always go to SAP Business One product line, which is the URL that I shared at the beginning of this block. And this takes me to an already pre-filtered page with information that pertains to the SAP Business One product line. And then I can dig in deeper. And if I know that I'm looking for information that only pertains for the HANA version, I can click here. Or if I want information about SQL, I can go here. One thing you can do is you can just bookmark this on your browser using the little star or the different icon that your browser uses. The other thing you can do is you can log in to the SAP Help Portal. For that, you will need an account, and you can do it with your S-user ID. That's my case. But if you don't have an S-user ID, you can also create a Help Portal account. When you create a user account for the Help Portal with your S-user ID or otherwise, you are able to then also create favorites, right? So if we go back to the home page of the Help Portal, let me just type in again, help.sap.com, and we take everything else out. So I just wanted to show you that when you are logged in, if you come to the SAP Help Portal already, I have here my favorite products and my favorite pages. So you can customize it to your liking. But if you don't want to create an account or you don't want to use your S-user account, then I would bookmark the page that specifically talks about your software. I'm going to just go directly now to the SAP Business One page version for HANA, and I'm going to show you how you can further customize that page. So here you see the version number. You have a little arrow here, and still you can find documentation for 9.2 or 9.3. If that was the case, we're going to leave it at 10. And here you can also select, for instance, you want to see this information in French, you can just move it. Okay, and whatever is available in French will show in French. What you can find here in the SAP Help Portal is plenty of information. So I invite you to navigate it yourself. One of my favorite things about the SAP Help Portal is this here. Under application help, you not only found the user manual and the localization specific information, as well as the add-ons, but also a list of SAP Business One how-to guides. This is one of my favorites. Whenever I want to study any specific process in depth, I come here and I check if there is a how-to guide, which are basically documents that are very thorough and comprehensive. Please take into account that some of the how-to guides pertain only to localizations like India or maybe Germany. So be aware of what you're looking for and understand that some things are only available in other localizations. For instance, this one here, how to use tax service in the US, that pertains to our localization, our country, but some others might not be relevant. There's a very extensive list, and you can also search here in the browser window. SAP Business One Tips and Tricks is one of the favorite ways for users to keep on learning SAP Business One and to keep taking advantage of new functionalities or shortcuts or different ways of doing things. They are very short and sweet and digestible videos or articles. And I think we can all agree that no matter the type of learning style that we prefer, we are all very busy, we have little time, and so these very short bites are a favorite of everyone. There are many sources where you can go and get SAP Business One tips, and we have created this SAP Business One Tips and Tricks portal in our website, consensusintl.com, for your convenience, so that you can find all the latest tips and tricks in one place. Once you get to our website, you will need to navigate to resources and then SAP Business One Tips and Tricks. You will find yourself in this portal where we have combined different options. The first one that you will find are previous customer day or webinars that have been focused on tips and tricks. You will see previous sessions even as old as 2020, but please note that all the tips that we have been sharing are still relevant today. So for instance, if we go to the 2020 Customer Day session that Marisa did on tips and tricks, some of the tips that she shared, like tooltip preview or the close and canceling documents in open item list, all those are still relevant today and they could be helpful for you. So if you didn't have a chance to be there live, this is your chance to revisit those sessions. We also have included links to outside sources for tips and tricks. So for instance, to Ari Shapira's LinkedIn page. Ari is the Chief Product Owner at SAP Business One, and he publishes a new tip every Sunday on his LinkedIn page. You can just come here for the direct link. And here you have two other links to the SAP Business One Community page blog posts with two different type of flags. So all the blog posts flagged as tip of the week are here in this link. And if you click here, you go to the community page blog post and you find different articles by Maya Schiff. She's the expert that has been publishing lately. And if you click on the other link to the community blog post, you will find a slightly different type of content. This one is generated by the support team at SAP. And these are tips that they are sharing, a little bit more in-depth articles and probably more geared toward technical type of users. So again, you find all these links here on the SAP Business One Tips and Tricks portal that we've created for you, as well as links to YouTube playlists, including tips and tricks in video format. both from SAP and ones generated by us here at Consensus. So enjoy this tips and tricks portal. Okay, how cool it is that you can actually influence the future of the software that you're using every day. SAP has a lot of customer influence programs with their different products. Today, we're going to be talking about SAP Continuous Influence, and in the case of SAP Business One, how this works. So customers and partners, they can submit improvement ideas, and depending on the number of votes and other factors that we're going to be reviewing right now, they get accepted and they are included in the software at the end. Let's review what the SAP development team takes into account. Number of votes is one, and I'm going to show you how to vote for ideas and how to submit ideas as well. And then they take into account desirability, viability, and feasibility. So all those three factors together with the number of votes, which actually is the first factor, I'm sorry, that's what they take into account in order to include these features. In the review cycle of 2021, these are some numbers to see how influential the continuous influence at SAP Business One really is. 297 improvement requests were taken into account, and 113 were delivered. See that they also consider some that were under the threshold of voting. So really, it's a lot. A lot of things get into the software thanks to users like you sharing their feedback. The web page that I shared at the beginning takes you to the customer influence opportunity page. And this is where you need to come in order to interact with SAP, upvote, or submit any new request. Please note that you will need an S-user ID in order to log in and to participate. Here, when you come in for the first time, I encourage you to use these little arrows here to understand how this works and see the product roadmap and things that have been taken into account. You can come here and look at the request, track your own requests, and track your votes, what's going on with the requests that you voted, etc. Take into account this one is very important. For a single customer or company, only one vote counts. So for instance, if you submit a request, immediately let us know. We'll make it public through our newsletter to have as many customers log in and vote for it. Here at Consensus, we will vote for it as well, but there's only one vote will count for Consensus. So for instance, right now I'm going to vote on this idea, which is pick and pack release, more quantity than available quantity. No, this was not the one I wanted to vote on, but let me just vote on this one. If somebody else at Consensus votes, I wanted to show you that little note. My vote will be grouped with the other person at Consensus who voted, okay? This is where you describe the idea. In order to participate in the continuous influence, in the customer influence program for SAP Business One, you will need an S-user ID because you need to log in to this page to participate. Before submitting an improvement, I suggest that you go and take a look at all the requests. You can search by keywords and filter so that you can see if somebody already submitted something that your idea, and then you can just upvote it and have more impact that way. The first time that you log into the customer influence, I suggest you use these little arrows to move, because here there's a very clear explanation on how everything works. If you submit an idea, please let us know. We'll try to get votes from other customers and we will upvote it ourselves at Consensus. Please note that votes are grouped by company. So for instance, if I submit an idea, nobody else from Consensus can upvote my idea. So it would be somebody from a different customer or company. And it works the same the other way around. If one of our customers submits an idea, it doesn't matter how many consultants here at Consensus upvote your idea, it would only count as one. So please let us know if you submit an idea, and we will publish it on our newsletter and try to get other SAP Business One users in our Consensus community to upvote your request and to have it considered. And we hope that very soon we'll have improvements that come from you. Right on your SAP Business One screen, on the top menu, under the word Help, you will find many opportunities to learn SAP Business One and find answers to your questions right there and then from your SAP Business One screen. Let's explore the first option, documentation. Documentation opens the SAP Business One user manual for the version that you're running. You can navigate it through the table of contents, and you have it right here at the tip of your fingers. You can go a little bit more in focus and explore content for the localization that you're running. When you click on Context Help under documentation, which is something that you can also achieve by typing the key F1 on your keyboard, right now it's telling me that it's not going to work for this window. And I wanted to show you this and show you how it actually works. Since Context Help is a context-sensitive tool, it needs context. It needs you to be working actively on a document or on a specific window of SAP Business One. Once you're doing that, like in this case, I opened a sales order. I'm going to try again, documentation, Context Help. And what's going to happen is that the same user manual is going to open for me, but it's going to already be on the bookmark for the document that I'm actually working on. You can even go a little bit more, a little deeper. I'm going to just highlight the field delivery date. And then when I click on Help Documentation, what's this? Which you can also be achieved by clicking on Shift and the key F1 at the same time on your keyboard. This is focusing a little bit more, not only on the sales order, but on the general area where we were, and then on the specific field that we were opening, so we can find an explanation of what this field is supposed to do, etc. I find this very, very helpful for new users to show them that they have at the tip of their fingers the user manual for exactly the version that they're running, the localization they're running, and the process or document that they're working on at that time. Then we have the welcome screen. I'm going to click on it to show it. And you might have seen this welcome screen when you log into SAP Business One. If this is happening every day and you want it to go away, you don't need that every time you log in. You just have to unclick this option. If I click here, this option, then every time I log into my system, this window will appear. If I don't want that, I just unclick that. What we find here in this welcome screen are some pretty nice links to outside information or to documents. The SAP Business One training takes you to the SAP Business One Learning Hub. The online help opens the user manual again. And this one here The what's new opens a document that I always recommend to customers that have recently upgraded to a newer version, because it opens a document that contains exactly that information about what's new in this version. In this case, is opening it for version 10, Feature Pack 2020-02, which is the one I'm running on this demo. This is a link to a glossary in case you have a doubt about any term used in SAP Business One. You can just check it out here. And also you can link to the SAP Help Portal from the welcome screen. Other things that we find in the help menu under SAP links are a number of, like I mentioned before, opportunities to keep on learning and to find out more information about SAP Business One. These links take you to the roadmap, the SAP Help Portal, the SAP Business One support platform, which I recommend specifically for system administrators or IT personnel, but not for everyday users, as it gives you access to SAP support notes. And to be honest, sometimes I don't really understand those notes. They're very technical, but for business, for system administrators, very, very useful to have this link right here. The SAP Business One Customer Influence, as you know, this is a place where you can suggest improvements or new functionalities. So it's a very good idea to have it handy here from the system. The SAP Business One training, again, is the SAP Business One Academy on the Learning Hub. And here you have a link to SAP Business One tips, the ones that you find on the community page on the blog post. The support desk option on the menu, I want to highlight specifically the first option, report a problem. We're not going to go through the process right now, but we do have a tutorial on our website. If you haven't never used this tool, please contact me and I'll send you that tutorial. This tool comes in very, very handy when you want to escalate an issue, a problem that you're having at SAP Business One, and you want to escalate it to our support help desk, or we need to escalate it at SAP. It works a little bit like a recording. That's what it does, a recording of the process you're running until you encounter that unwanted outcome or error message. And it gives us a lot of information about the steps you were taking and what was going on the system and in the back end of things. So actually the result is not a video file, but it's a zip file that we really appreciate very much when you can include that file when you're escalating an issue to our support help desk. Again, if you have never used this tool and you would like to learn how to use it, please send me an email and I will send you the tutorial. Under support desk, there are other links that are suited for IT personnel or system administrators, like I was mentioning before, very technical content and information. Here, under About SAP Business One, you will find a window such as this one that is going to show you the information about your version. Also about your installation and system number, but this is the one that you might need from time to time to check what version you're running. This is where all that information is. Okay, so I hope that you're feeling inspired and not overwhelmed. The intention was to inspire you to keep on learning SAP Business One. Those were a lot of options. I apologize. Some of the content was a little repeated, but we will also cut this presentation into small pieces so that you can review the one that you like the best. You don't need to use all these resources, obviously, but I encourage you to explore. And this presentation was meant to give you an overview of everything that's available. And then maybe by this presentation, you can already decide, I think I'm going to use this resource. Like I mentioned, and I'm getting a lot of questions on this, I'm going to share the links. Don't worry about that. I'll send you a document with all those links. And I also wanted to mention something. All these resources, all this training material, they are always showing you SAP Business One vanilla, if you will. You need to take this into account. Many of your systems have been customized, or you have automations in place. And these will not be in these training materials, of course. So these training materials are going to show you a lot of information about SAP as is, but you will need to take into account your customizations, your processes. And so many times it's a very good idea to train yourself or your users using this content, and then reaching out to us and, you know, letting us be with you for something that includes a customization, an automation, or a very specific setup in your company. So this is a good idea to prepare for. And then if you're going to run a critical process at your company, maybe the first time you want us by your side, we're very happy to help you with that. Another question that I got is, how can I get my S user ID? That's a very good question. All of you are entitled to an S user ID. I mentioned throughout the videos, you don't need an S user ID, or for this one, you do need an S user ID. My recommendation would be, do explore all these training materials. If you encounter anyone that is asking for an S user ID, then send me an email and I can immediately produce that for you, or you can just send me an email right now. I just, in my experience, in my personal experience, I don't want more passwords and users that I need. So for many of these materials, you don't need it. You need the S user ID for the customer influence, for instance, and to access the SAP support launchpad. I think for anything else, you are good to go with your email, and you will create an accounts with your email. So in any case, if you need your S user ID, just contact me and I will set up that process, and you will receive an email from SAP with your password, etc. So just send me an email to info@consensusintl.com, or if you know my email, Custodio@consensusintl.com, any of those works, and I'll make sure that you get your S user ID. Okay, I have another question about webinars. It's true, I didn't mention specifically the webinars at Consensus. We do have a monthly webinar program, and to be completely honest, we do try to focus on ideas that you give us. So for instance, when you rate this session, if you want to include, you know, ideas for webinars that you have, please do. I'm always open for your feedback. I try to create content that is useful for you. So if you have, you know, if you think, oh, I'd like to learn about this, please let me know, and I'll try my best to do a webinar on that subject. We do have more sessions tomorrow for the customer day. One of them was also in response to your feedback, the one on forecast and MRP, which by the way, I wanted to mention that is not only for companies running production. You can actually use forecast and MRP even if you do slight how do you call this, assembly, or you don't use production. It's very useful for any company, really. So I encourage you to attend that session. We also have another pending session on checks, how to print them, how to troubleshoot. Printing checks is very delicate, and if you're in charge of that in your company, I encourage you to attend that session tomorrow as well. And the last one would be tips and tricks, which is always a favorite, like we mentioned on this session as well. Very, different bites of information that will make your SAP Business One life better, and that's always our intention. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the Customer Day, which is designed for you. So please let me know if we can improve it in any way. I really appreciate you being here and your feedback. Have a wonderful day.